If you're having trouble with mathematics, numbers getting problematic, don't you panic. Check MathWiz, the best math tutor on the planet. From fraction to algebra, simple maths, add up some trigonometry into that. Learning math is fun with MathWiz, and that's a fact. We're rooting for you.
Welcome back to MathWiz Academy. If this is your first time watching, however, I do hope that you will enjoy today's lesson. For those persons who are returning, welcome back. All right, so today we are continuing with the lesson on multiplying or positive and negative numbers, and we want to focus on how to multiply if there is a number on the outside of a bracket. But very quickly, let us revise what we did in part 1 of the multiplying videos. So we have that a positive multiplied by a positive should give us a positive. A negative multiplied by a negative should also give us a positive. A positive multiplied by a negative should give us a negative. And a negative multiplied by a positive also gives negative. Now, before we go into today's lesson, there is something we want to discuss. So we want to note that numbers or letters on the outside of brackets mean multiplication. So what do I mean by that? So as you can see, we have 2 on the outside of those brackets. And so this in math really means 2 multiplied by 3. Similarly, we have M open bracket P. We could rewrite this as M multiplied by P. And as you guessed it, for the last one, we have 5 open bracket Y, which therefore means this is 5 multiplied by Y. All right, so that's just the prerequisite information we needed. Now we can actually get into today's question. Okay, so for our first set of examples, we want to look at 2 open bracket 3, which based on the information we just covered, we realize that that would be 2 times 3, and of course, based on the rule, we have a positive multiplied by a positive, so we are going to get positive 6. At the same time, if we had minus 6, open bracket minus 2, we would rewrite that as minus 6 multiplied by minus 2, or negative 6 multiplied by negative 2. And a negative multiplied by a negative is going to give us a positive. And so this should be positive, and the 6 times 2 gives you 12. For our positive times negative, let's say we had 4 open bracket minus 5. This would be 4 times minus 5. And again, you have a positive times a negative, and so that is how you would end up with negative 20. If this is not familiar to you, you want to go ahead and watch part 1 of the multiplying videos, come back, and then you should be able to understand this concept a lot easier. All right, then let's say we had minus 8 open bracket 3. That is really saying minus 8 times positive 3. And of course, you're going to get a negative, and the 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, so I'm going to go through another set of examples, and then I will give you a few to try on your own. Okay, so as our second set of examples, let us say we have 9 open bracket 1. This is the same thing as 9 times 1, and again, we have a positive times a positive, and so your answer is going to be positive 9. For our next example, let us say we had minus 3 open bracket minus 5. I would rewrite this as minus 3 times minus 5. And that negative and negative becomes positive, and the 3 times 5 will give us 15. For our next example, let us say we have 6 open bracket minus 5. That would be 6 multiplied by minus 5. We have a positive and a negative, so we're going to get a negative, and 6 times 5 is 30. As our final example before you get to try on your own, let us go with minus 7 open bracket 2. which would be minus 7 times 2. And this is simply a negative multiplied by a positive. So we get a negative, and 7 times 2 will give us 14. Okay, so these are the questions that you will try on your own. So just be sure to press pause and then work them out, and then you can press play for the solution. Provided you work those on your own, for the first one, we have 6 open bracket minus 4, and so that is going to be 6 times negative 4. So that's positive 6 times negative 4. A positive times a negative gives us a negative, and 6 times 4 is 24. We then have minus 2 open bracket minus 8, or negative 2 times negative 8. And remember, we use the word minus and negative interchangeably. Okay, so we have negative 2 times negative 8, and negative times a negative is a positive, and 2 times 8 is 16. We then have minus 7 open bracket 3, so that's going to be minus 7 times positive 3. And a negative times a positive is also a negative, and 7 times 3 is 21. For your final question, we have 9 times 5, because we have 9 open bracket 5, and that is a positive times a positive, so it's going to be positive, and 9 times 5 is going to be 45. Okay, I do hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to leave a comment below. Be sure to share with your friends. And as usual, here at Maths Academy, I am rooting for you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.